So today was not the best day to be an Xbox guy. And for the record, before I get any further, I'm not gonna console war here. I'm not gonna be that PlayStation gamer who's gonna sit there and go, hey, yeah, Xbox is dead. Like, no, this is me, TPG, just being, trying to be 100% honest with you guys. I'm an Xbox guy. No, granted, I'm not an Xbox guy in the sense that I only play on Xbox, but I have a lot of fond nostalgia memories of Xbox. Me and my freaking cousin used to play Call of Duty Black Ops on our 360s. I actually remember my first 360 actually getting a Red Ring of Death right before I got the Slim version. So that was actually kind of convenient timing. And that was also close to a birthday of mine, too. I remember, playing Gears of War 3 for the first time and like, damn, that's still like one of my favorite games of all time. I remember playing Halo Reach and reaching the ending and just like kind of actually being drawn to tears because I was like, damn, Noble Six ain't gonna make it, is he? He ain't gonna make it. But like, I still have a lot of nostalgia for Xbox. I still have, I guess I would say, like this kind of tempered excitement for Xbox stuff. I would say that I'm still more of a PlayStation guy. Obviously, the PlayStation gamer and everything. But it's like, at the same time, there's still a part of me that likes Xbox. I have a Master Chief helmet in this apartment for a reason. I have a Gears of War 3 Collector's Edition statue in this apartment for a reason. I have Gears of War Reloaded pre-ordered on my PlayStation for a reason. So, just for the record, I am clearly not just a Sony pony. I'm a Sony pony that's got a little bit of a robotic limb, if you know what I'm talking about. I got a little bit of body in me. So when I tell you these layoffs suck, I'm talking more in the aspect of, man, I just don't have faith in the current leadership at Xbox. I don't have faith in the current, leadership at Microsoft at this point. Because now we're seeing these layoffs happen so frequently. Like, it seems like it's every quarter, right? Every quarter they announce these round of layoffs. And it's just like, at what point do these, executives realize, hey, this is not good? You are expecting people to push out, AAA top quality games while the possibility of them losing their jobs because their game fails lingering over their head. Job security might help actually, a little bit of, these developers producing a quality product. So, to, stop being around the bush here, what happened? Well, several studios have been hit with layoffs. Turn 10 specifically sounds like they got hit with 50% of their staff were laid off. Turn 10 is the developer of the Forza Sports series, which, damn, that's actually one of their big studios. That's one of their core IPs that, the IP itself didn't get hit directly, but it's like, if one of the studios that's consecutively, been one of the top producers, like arguably Forza is their highest tier, as far as their IP, goes. Because, how consecutively they hit like the 90 plus score. You could argue Forza is actually more of a main, top quality IP than Halo, to be honest. So apparently that they've been hit with layoffs. But don't worry, State of Decay 3 still not canceled. Don't know what it's going to take for Undead Labs to get their shit together, but hey, that's just how it goes. So apparently, Everwild. Remember that game? How Rare didn't even know what the hell it was when they announced it? Yeah, that game's been canceled. What a shocker. A unannounced MMO project being developed by the developers of Elder Scrolls Online has been shut down. Not really shocked at all. Like, cool. Then, of course, the big one. Remember Perfect Dark reboot and how a lot of people were excited for that? Yeah, I was actually kind of one of those people. And I'm not gonna lie, man. That was actually kind of cool. Remember when they actually showed the announcement trailer? And like people were like losing their shit. They're like, oh my god, it's a new Perfect Dark. And then we actually got to see, quote unquote gameplay. Because, anything I see in a trailer at that point and that looks that heavily produced is let's be fair here, it's questionable if it's real, but I'll take it as like, here's the concept of the gameplay we're working on. But okay, either way, I can accept that. That looked cool. That's been canceled. And that studio, the initiative, has been shut down, which is just like, wow. You know, remember how this was going to be their first quadruple A studio and their first quadruple A game? Well, that didn't go too well. That didn't go well at all now, did it? And of course, there's just other, just like, this is why I don't like Microsoft overseeing Xbox. Like, you know, Microsoft's got, you know, that endless cash, that endless money, but man, they really are like one of those companies that will gut you if they even think you're not pulling your weight. So, by the way, none of the executives at these studios have been touched. So Phil Spencer, you know, comes out, he puts out this whole, you know, thing like, you know, we really care about the quality of our products, but, you know, at the same time, we always could use a room to grow. Apparently growing means cutting jobs, over 1,000 jobs. Like, we're talking 5% of their work staff, which means, guess what? Over 9,000 jobs just been disappeared into the void. But don't worry, they'll get a nice severance package. They'll get $500. $500 and sign an NDA for 2 years that you won't be able to say anything about your time at the company, because you know that's just what developers want. They don't want job security. They don't want, you know, to keep working in the industry. No, just here's some quick cash that barely means a damn thing, and yeah, please send this piece of paper so you can't talk shit about us. That's why I sue. That's why I assume. But, you know, obviously I could be 100% wrong. And that's fine. That's fine. If that's the case, I'm wrong. I'll accept that L. But it's just like, this is why it's so hard for me to have any kind of faith in a company that just asks you for it. You know, I've made no secret. There are studios out there I have 100% faith in. Naughty Dog, CD Projekt Red. That's because, in my opinion, they've earned that benefit, but none at the Xbox studios have. And meanwhile, by the way, they announced a new collaboration for not Fortnite. Sorry, I got Fortnite and Call of Duty mixed up for a second. Beavis and Butthead. How much you bet that cost a prepay to get onto their, you know, at Call of Duty? And again, what I find so crazy about this whole thing is it's the Xbox game studios that sound like they got hit the hardest, but not Activision. It really doesn't sound like freaking Bethesda got hit either. Wanna why? Because they're separate entities that have their own little portfolio. Why do you think that, you know, Activision's still kind of like their own separate entity? So that way they're not technically caught up in all this. But Microsoft gets to reap all the money. All that money. All that Fortnite wannabe money. Okay. Obviously, I'm ranting and rambling at this point, but let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think of these layoffs? Do you think these layoffs are somehow weirdly justified? Do you think this is just trimming more and more fat? Or do you think this is, you know, the worst thing that could happen? Because, you know, at a time, ironically, where Microsoft's actually been producing a lot of games and actually a lot of top quality games, now they have to do these layoffs. Like, it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder and kind of worry about the future of Xbox and their future in publishing. Because, like, you know, if you're still doing these level of layoffs, you know, years after you bought Activision Blizzard, like, I kind of wonder, like, when does it stop? Like, at what point do you find out that you cut the right amount of fat off? When is the perfect amount of meat? When is the right amount of meat that you trim the fat away from? So, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This is That PlayStation Gamer. Sign out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube RMBS. Bye.